Ashe, everyone. This is Innocent Smith, aka the Wellness Witch, and today I have a special energy reading in store for you. So, we are going to be reading from the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake with the artwork by Alyssa Alba. So, special as in I'm actually challenging myself today. Let's get it started. To do your reading in less than 15 minutes because I've not been doing that as of late. So here are our cards. Let's get started with that. I've already cleared them with my selenite wand. And we have for you on deck some of our crystal bats. So really living that energy. I know it's not quite yet Halloween, but it is Samhain season and all about it. Love this time of year, right? Absolutely love it. So we're going to do a light and shadow reading for the collective. If anyone's interested in a personal reading, in a private reading, feel free to use the link provided to book a private reading there. And as far as our crystals go, let me tell you about those really quick before we get into it. So we have let's go with a magic wand, shall we? Don't want to get anything in the way. All right, so we've got a water quartz or clear quartz. Going clockwise, we've got a howlite bat, goes along with Howie, our crystal skull. And then we've got a golden tiger's eye bat here, along with the smoky quartz. And again, went ahead and grabbed those crystals just because they're in keeping with our theme for today. So shadow and light. What message does Spirit have for the collective at this time about their shadow and light self? So please understand also as we're going through this that all of our readings are for entertainment purposes only. Please use your discernment. If anything comes up during your reading that is challenging for you, please take care of self, right? And just see yourself out until such time as you can handle this. And this is meant to be lighthearted and fun, okay? So understand that. If something does not resonate for you, understand that this is a collective reading. So you can always request a personal reading for yourself. But this is a collective reading. Okay, so shadow, light. All right, so in dealing with this, the first card that shows up here is the Six of Pentacles, right? And you can see like this huge burst of light, right? That seems to be illuminating the foreground, right? Which is this witch figure who is accompanied by a familiar living cat. And opposite of this witch, we see two other figures here, right? So this seems to be denoting and indicating a energy of benevolence, right, and charity and giving back. As we see, this figure here has a load of books, although they're down by their feet, right? So it's saying that they are rooted in self-knowledge and educating themselves. But also, if you look closer at this card, I'm going to pull you in a bit. The graininess. Actually, let me just pick it up and see if that doesn't help. But if you look closer, you see what appears to be money, right? So it appears that this figure is actually making a charitable contribution to this person in some way. Here, they seem to be giving out more than just money. They're also giving out something else like sustenance, right? So let's just say potentially getting the energy that this is someone who is an adept, a novice, a student, who's trying to further their studies, right? Who's looking to this figure as someone who is influential to them, right? You see how they appear to be looking at them like, oh my gosh, like you're so wonderful. I want to do what you do. I'm trying to study. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get like all the things that I feel like I need, not want, but need, right? To like really do my practice and to do this in the best possible way, like to do what Spirit is calling me to do. And so like I'm trying to figure out how to do these things and how am I going to get through this, right? Because I'm just a poor struggling student. And so the witch appears to be pouring back into them, right? It's like, I was once like you. Okay. So this is earthly sort of desires. This is stability. This is education, for one thing, because it's grounding yourself. It is financial, right? It's all of those things and more. So whereas they're pouring back into this one with finances, a financial blessing, they seem to be pouring into this being with sustenance, with food. And you could look at it the opposite way and say, okay, well, this being was giving them this. But as the basket is still in their hand, right? And this cat also appears to be pleading with this figure that's associated with the crown. It would seem as though this being is pouring back into the younger community, into the youth, but also not forgetting about their elders. Do you know what I mean? Like they are feeding them in whatever way possible. And that can be time, it could be food, it can be energy, it could be money, it could be many things. But it's saying, don't forget about your heart. Don't forget where your blessings come from. Don't forget where you started. Don't forget to be humble. Do you get what I'm saying? It's energy, it's balance. What is given will be rewarded. So it's reciprocity. With our next card, we have the Hanged One, the Hanged Man, as the card reads. So let's read it as it says, but don't like saying the Hanged One. Actually, I call this card the Sacrifice card. But from the creator's standpoint, it is the Hanged Man. So we're going to go with that. And this figure is hanging suspended from their broom, which appears to be somewhat linked to these trees, but it's not quite tied to the trees. So you get what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of hovering there amongst the trees. And they're also encased in these chains around their ankles and around their wrists, right? And then we see in the background, now this is a foreground, we see in the background like all of these clouds that are in like all of these colors, right? All these rich, vibrant colors. 7 minutes? Okay, going on 8. We're doing good. So what it says is, while a storm may appear to be coming, all of this is nothing but a distraction. Regardless, let all your worries fade into the background, right? And anchor yourself to what you know to be true. What you're doing does require sacrifice of some kind, but you have to know that what you're doing is worth it. You have to have faith that what you're doing is worth it. You have to have faith that there is a solution to all things, including the situation you find yourself in right now. And this person, if you look upon this particular witch, right, they seem to have this very calm and serene countenance to them, right? So in other words, they're not bothered, they're not worried, they're not stressed, they're just hanging out, right? They're just waiting on spirit to show up and to show out, because they know that this is a time of reflection for them. They're doing everything that they need to do to be in alignment with spirit right now, and they're not worried at all about what is happening around them or what could it possibly mean. They know that spirit has their back, right? And it's saying that sometimes when we feel like we're stuck and we've hit a wall, right? That the only way to get out of this, instead of trying to go over it or go around it or to go through it, is just stop banging your head up against that wall. To figure out a totally different approach, right? If you ever found yourself in this situation where you were shackled and not by your own doing, whether it's by your doing or not, what would you do? What would you do? You may be feeling that you're that way right now. But clearly what it's saying is whatever you've been doing in the past isn't working, right? And while you may appear to be stuck, you're not really stuck. You just need a different perspective. Get it? Perspective. So as opposed to this, you need a completely different perspective. You need a different view. Maybe from a different angle or with a different attitude. Accept where you are right now and see what lessons there are in where you are right now. Hang out for a bit. Hang out with Spirit. See what messages Spirit has for you. All right, so that's the time. I am 10 minutes and 40 seconds, so a little bit over, but that's what I have for you today, you guys. So this is Innocent Smith, aka the Wellness Witch from She and She Witchy Wellness. Peace and blessings to you until next time. Ashe.